Today's weekly message starts with a story. As you know, our country is at war. I have three sons in Reserves Army, and one of them is a father to four small children. So for Shabbat, a couple of weeks ago, when it first came out, the war, we went for Shabbat to our daughter-in-law to help her out because she was alone with four small children. And I have to tell you that it was very, very moving to see how the whole neighborhood like galvanized, everybody got together, how our whole country is really getting together to help the people who need it. If it's the soldiers, if it's the families of the hostages and those who have fallen in this horrendous tragedy that we are having, if it is people who are helping the soldiers, helping the wives of the army reserves, really, like, I have to say that a beautiful side of our nation and our country is coming out from this tragedy, which is that we are one and we are here for each other. And it was really, really nice to see how everybody, was trying to help and make the wives of these army soldiers who have left, like, sort of just dropped everything and left their families to go to the front, really how people are really trying to make things as easy as possible for them. So, of course, as is very socially acceptable, the amount of candies, cakes, junk food that have been pushed on my daughter-in-law and her kids is absolutely incredible. She has two freezers full of cookies, cakes, pizzas. She gets pasta. When we were there for Shabbat, my husband went for this like learning activity with like fathers and children, and my granddaughter went with him. She's in kindergarten. And so at the end of the activity, everybody's like, whose father is in the army? Of course, my granddaughter is like, me, me, me. So she gets a really nice toy and a whole bag full of candy, which she ate, and she shared some with her brothers, but it made her totally like hyper, which she has a tendency to be anyway. But you really see like how like these kids are getting like copious amounts of junk. So are the soldiers. My sons, when I ask them, what they would like, they say, please just don't send junk food. There is so much junk food, we don't know what to do with it, and we're throwing it away. But that's all there is for them to eat. They don't really have any real food there for them. And that comes to the second story that I'd like to say is that my daughter gave birth, so Mazel Tov. Well, we have a new grandson. It's her first. And she has this very cute little dog, a Shih Tzu dog named Georgie. And we love him. And we are doggy sitting him now. And I was walking the dog and I was thinking to myself, dog owners, as a rule, do not give dogs food that is unhealthy for them. And most dog owners don't. Even when the dogs beg for food and the dogs want the food and they know that like for that moment it'll make the dog happy, they don't give it to them because they know that at the end of the day it's going to make them sick. Why don't we do that for our kids too? I mean, the science is out, right? Candies and all these salty snacks, which are basically sugar that doesn't taste sweet, and these copious amounts of sugar and ultra processed foods harm our health. They make us sick. Yes, at that moment we want them and we like them and it lights up our kids' eyes, right? The soldiers too. But we are actually doing what dog owners won't do for their dogs. We're doing to the people that we love most. We're like relenting to this, ultra delicious and very attractive food. But at the end of the day, it makes us sick. Unless we're taking really, really small amounts. And that's not what's happening. I mean, the statistics are out there, right? Most of the adult population is metabolically sick from the food that is most available and cheapest and most acceptable in our environment. It's also addictive, and there are people who really get addicted to this food the same way that they get addicted to cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, and other addictive substances. So why are we pushing this, forcing this on our children, on these, children, especially when we feel bad for them and we want to make them happy? Same thing with the soldiers. So this is my message to you. It's the same message I give out virtually like on Purim, for example, with the Mishloach Manot. If you are one of these people who are giving out food to these children, to soldiers, to these families who you want to do that because feeding makes us feel like we're giving love. When we give food, it's like we're giving love. We're saying, "Here, I made this for you. I care about you. I'm thinking about you. Let me feed you." I get that. It's a very, very basic message that we've gotten right, that we've given to our children from the moment they came out of us, and like we keep doing for our family. So it's this thing about giving, but we really have to think about it. In today's environment, is the giving, is it really a good giving when we're giving junk food and cakes and things like that, and white bread? So my message to you is, if you would like to make something for these families, first of all, if you would like to make the children happy, do it with toys, with little giveaways, stickers, and not candy. When it comes to the soldiers, give them real food. Like, give them, like, they're not getting whole wheat bread. Many soldiers want to eat healthy, actually, especially the miluimnikim. When they're older, people get older and they get smarter and they care a little more about their future. They want to eat healthy. So maybe make them a quiche, make them whole wheat bread, homemade whole wheat bread. Make them, if you're going to make sandwiches, instead of taking a white baguette and putting in it a schnitzel, why don't you get some, high quality chicken or meat or fish or eggs or something, omelets, and maybe buy somebody a nice cheese as a gift instead of a cake. So there are things that we can do. Nuts is a wonderful present. Fruit is great. Getting things in the supermarket that maybe you would want to buy for yourself, like that's real food, right? Not ultra processed and junk food, but that's real food. But you feel like, it's a little too expensive or whatever it is, maybe that you could buy for these people. And if you're going to make things, make them with healthy ingredients. Put in fruit, put in less sugar, put in whole grain flours rather than white flours. And let's just start giving away food that's healthy for people rather than to say I love you, to give something to somebody that harms their health. So this is my message to all the people who want to help. And I know that it's not easy. I can say the same for myself, It was kind of hard for me not to want to buy ice creams for all the soldiers that my son, is serving with when we went to visit him. And then I realized, like, what am I, nuts? First of all, this ice cream's going to melt. Second of all, and I'm not going to buy them anything else because they have tons of junk there. And then I realized, like, you know what? I just like grabbed a bag of granola that has like less sugar in it and gave it to my son. And I said, I know you guys have lots of food, but maybe this will be, helpful. And he sent me a picture with all the guys. They got these yogurts from the army, but just like plain yogurts, not flavored. Yay, army. And they didn't know what sort of wanted to put something in it. And all of a sudden, Gil remembered that he has this granola that he got from his mom. And he brought it out and they sent me this video like thanking me for the wonderful granola. So, homemade granola is a wonderful thing to send to people as a present. Let's start sending each other when we want to send love, when we want to send a message that we care, when we want to send a message that we want to do something for you. And this message is through food. Let's do it with real food. Hope you enjoyed this message, and if you did, please share it, like it, pass it on, and don't forget to check out my website down here. And sign up to hear a free webinar that I gave about how to eat healthy in a crisis. The link is here. Sign up for it. It's free. You'll get it straight to your mailbox, full of amazing tips and information for you if you feel like your eating has gone off track or it's really hard for you, the stress eating. This gives some amazing tips and solutions. So sign up for it right now. See you next week. Bye-bye.